priority to? Who do they give the extra experience to? And I've got to say, the Silencer is a very important pickup for Evil Geniuses. The last couple of bans, Omni was banned out, so still, we talked about Evil Geniuses in the Omni Knight in that last game. Virtus.Pro, they have the Faces Void. They're going to get another hero as well. We'll see what it is. It's the Storm Spirit coming out from Virtus.Pro. This feels very greedy. Wow.
Yeah, they can get absolutely destroyed by Silence if they're not careful here, but I mean, if they get the BKB up at a decent time for the Storm, it could definitely work here. I don't know, you're talking about the Doom before, and obviously, like we were saying, Universe Doom doesn't, like, it's not what you think of when you think of Universe's off-laners, but it's so good in this game. If you get a Doom out on Brew or Storm, you just completely take them out. Phoenix you can be it against too, so I could see that working pretty well. Centaur is still in the pool as well, so if they want to just, you know, run people down, I love the combination of Stampede plus Global Silence. It's a great initiation tool. Otherwise, it's just breaking down the chain of initiation from Virtus.Pro. You see the Chronosphere, the Global Silence immediately comes out, and they follow it up with absolutely nothing. So that's going to be kind of a breakdown in the chain of initiation that EVG are looking for. If those that are wondering why Silencer is such a good counter to Phoenix in the lane, it's because of how Last Word works against Icarus Dive. You get the Last Word on him and you're getting some damage in him. Let's say he's hit by the Pounce. You put the Last Word on him. When he starts the Icarus Dive to cruise on out of there, there's a second ability he has to activate to actually make it effectively a blink. If he doesn't hit that ability, then he goes right back from where he started, and Last Word prevents him from doing so. It actually silences him as soon as this dive starts, and he goes right back around to where he started. So there's a lot of kill potential if the Phoenix does go bottom, and that's going to give them a lot of difficulty if Silencer's on point.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't think about that, but Phoenix could just end up dying a lot, and we saw what can happen if you give Slark some room to farm and get kills with in the last game. We're not going to talk about that, but it was kind of ridiculous to say the least. So Virtus.Pro now, they have to deal with the global, they have to deal with Last Word, and Evil Geniuses, they're taking their sweet time. This is probably Universe's hero, and Tide's banned out, so they can't grab that, but that's really the only targeted hero that they took away from Universe. What is it going to be? The Bat Rider, the Universe Bat Rider come out. One is better here. Plays too often, but he's generally pretty good at this hero. I'd say this is probably a strong pickup for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah. I think there's a lot on PPD's shoulders here, though. Like, he is going to be, as we mentioned, kind of that tactically feeding support a little bit just to give space for his allies, but his ultimate usage, he has to get to level 6, and no matter what, he has to stay away from the fight sufficiently to make sure his global is on point. If he does nothing but Global Silence and Last Word the Phoenix this entire game, he's done his job, but it is imperative that he does it at the exact time that his team needs it, because Virtus.Pro have a lot of abilities that you get them off, then suddenly there's problems. You get the Chrono plus Supernova, you get the Primal Split. Those abilities, as soon as they're out, and you can't really take them back. So the Silencer has to be really on point, but I could really see this EG drop working very effectively in their favor.
Yeah, this is something that they really got the heroes they really needed and they wanted. I think in this situation, they have heroes that work well against the Virtus.Pro squad. They have Arteezy's Lycan, obviously. They have Zai's Wish Doctor. Fear's playing Slark. I mean, this is a good draft for them. For Virtus.Pro, it's a little too early to say, you know, they're in some trouble, but this is a draft that could work out for them. They could get a couple of big Chronospheres. If the Phoenix somehow gets farm or somehow gets levels in a lane that seems very difficult, you know, this could go pretty well. And they actually look like they're going to dual lane this, and maybe Phoenix is going to be played more of a support role, as they have the Brewmaster down bottom as well, which, yeah, it looks like there's going to be a ward up in the Phoenix. He'll ward up. He'll probably try to just leech experience as best as possible and make sure that Sidoi farms well on that Brewmaster. So, speaking of Virtus.Pro, their roster, their lineup, down bottom, it is Yol playing your Phoenix. We are going to see Sidoi playing your Brewmaster. In the mid lane, it is going to be G or God on your Storm Spirit. Top lane, it's going to be Jadam on your support, Ogre Magi, and then that'll round out the lineup with BZZ on your Faceless Void. So that's your Virtus.Pro roster.
Enough, and looking over towards what is going to be your mid laner, Arteezy is at the top rune here, starting off with Howl first, Quelling Blade, Stout Shield, ready to hit some creeps, and he is your Lycanthrope. For the off lane, it's going to be Universe Bat Rider, already starting off with the Firefly. Looks like he actually used it to clear out trees, or maybe he's just mucking about. Either way, he is starting off with Boots first on your off lane. Helping out in the mid lane here is going to be PPD's Silencer. And yeah, he's going to be kind of helping out Arteezy in a kind of a dual lane sense to maybe surprise suppress the Storm Spirit in the mid a little. Anyways, down bottom, it is going to be Fear farming the safe lane on his Slark, alongside Zai, who is going to be supporting him on the Witch Doctor.
So, some interesting laning setups. I think right now, PBD actually just blocked the creep wave so that RTZ can get the top rune spot, but he didn't end up getting it. The bounty rune was picked up by Jotum, so just something to keep in mind. An interesting matchup with this mid lane, G versus RTZ. RTZ pops the Howl immediately. Top lane, it is the off lane Bat Rider going up. The Ignite's going to go. Universe is going to try to get to the low ground. Now they'd use the Time Walk as well, but Universe is more than fine. It looks like he'll just see the tree here, and well, alright, they gotta kill bottom. PBD gets first blood on a deal, catching him out of position. He used last word to do so. I guess that's exactly what you were talking about.
You just, well, yeah, you just can't dive away from it. Like, he didn't even try to use Icarus Dive. He didn't do the bounce back thing because he knew that it wouldn't do anything for him. So he didn't even cast a spell in that situation. He just gets gunned down, the last word being the suppressing factor for the key escape mechanism of that hero. And Moppak was pointing out, he actually just over here, I believe, cut down a couple of trees. It's a little weird. Maybe if he's like farming, kind of over by this river area, trying to jack experience on the Bat Rider, then he realizes Firefly is going to expire. He can just barely get to this position and doesn't have to tango his way through. Otherwise, I'm not too sure what the value of cutting those trees is.
That makes the most sense to me. I'm not sure. And Zai's going to try to chain pull. Yoel's going to come in and try to stop this, but he doesn't want to die again, so meanwhile, Pounce is going to go. Sadoy's taking a lot of damage here, although Fear doesn't have any more bursts. He does have some Eshin Shift stacks, which 5 of them, but he doesn't have Dark Pack yet, no level 2 Pounce, so not able to get the kill. Meanwhile, Yoel's getting right-clicked by PPD, who, by the way, is just using his glaives to do work. Yoel is going to get zoned out. This is a tough lane for Yoel and Sadoy.
Yep, and it's going to give an easy bounty rune to the Silencer here. Up top, though, Universe is going to take some major hits here. He's going to be time walked on. The Napalm not going to give him enough time to get away, and BZZ is going to get the last hit here. So already having the Orb of Venom up is really good for preventing the Bat Rider from making an easy escape, and they're able to lock him down with the Ignite and the slow from that.
So far, so good in the top lane coming out. Meanwhile, mid lane, G is leading up against RTZ, but as he starts getting wolves going, he can maybe eclipse the CS of that of the Storm Spirit. RTZ is low, trying to get towards that bottle, I imagine. Top lane again. Universe not in really a good position. He does have Firefly here. BZZ does need to be careful. He does have Time Walk. 2 Napalm stacks going up. BZZ, Fire Blast is going to go. Universe is still getting caught. BZZ, Time Lock goes in again. And Universe can't really chase him down and get his Firefly going. In fact, Universe is low enough that they can try to go once this Firefly is in fact done. He'll try to get over towards this river area. And with 6 Napalm stacks, BZZ does have to be careful. So Universe
Zion bot lane, dropping very, very low to Sadoy there. The clap, the right click, and does get harassed back, but he will have the Voodoo Restoration perhaps at level 3 to bring him up. But they're going to go now. They're not even waiting for the heals. They're just going to go in for the aggressive play. Do have the stun, but nothing to bounce it to.
Yeah,
and
there was this Observer Ward coming out from Virtus.Pro. They saw it the entire way, so they couldn't get the kill coming in from Evil Geniuses. And I don't see a Sentry coming out from either of these supports here for EG, so it looks like they won't be able to counter that ward, even if they know that it's there. But
yeah, interesting. RTZ going for the 2-sip bottle back here instead of looking for a rune here. Does not want to leave the lane at all. He'll use the wolves perhaps to deny runes, but he doesn't have any interest in picking them up for himself. He just is going to throw the bottle back to the well and at maximum movement speed for the courier. So it's going to be just kind of a war of attrition here in the mid lane. Neither one going to be losing too much as far as sustainability. And yeah, we are going to see those wolves at least make their way to deny the top rune.
So this is a smart play from RTZ, and this is just him in a nutshell. He likes to just be efficient and make sure that he's not missing out on any farm, even if it does mean getting an extra bottle charge or 2. In fact, he brings the bottle back out. He's able to get plenty of CS. G doesn't have his. It's crowing back to the base now, and the wolf runs back into the lane. So far, it's a pretty slow game. Only kills coming out were in the off lanes, respectively, although the Universe has the ability to just head to the jungle, take a couple of creep stacks, and go from there. So he'll maybe get a pretty early blink dagger if he can get some more stacks going for him in the jungle here. But there is a lot of heroes rotated. Jotum is smoked up as well as Yoel. They're going to try to find a kill. This might be difficult, though. RTZ he's pretty susceptible to ganks without shapeshift. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely possible, but he did just get level 6 here. Will skill up the shapeshift, and the ignite slow isn't going to be as impactful. Neither will the overload slows V. So they have short duration stuns, not going to be controlling. And actually, Zai's going pretty deep here onto Sadoy, just for harassment, though. They're not willing to dive it up. There is the rotation for the Phoenix, popping off some spirits here. The last word comes out on the Brewmaster, though, and now Yoel is going to have to fall back.
So kind of just avoiding all of the potential ganks from Evil Geniuses at this point. They don't want to get caught out. They don't want to just give an easy kill away to any of these supports. So at this point in time, it's just kind of, I feel like EG dictating the play, at least in bottom, and to some extent mid. And because they are leaving this Faceless Void to farm up top, that is going to be a potential issue. But this also means that they are getting plenty of farm for Universe. His Tranquil Boots are now done. He's taking a couple of stacks here in the hard camp. RTZ mid might get caught out. G has got his ball lightning. RTZ sees Jottum. The pull does come through. RTZ's going to pop his Shapeshift. There's the Fire Blast, and he's just going to run away. It's just that easy.
Yeah, even with the increased shapeshift time, or the addition of it, I should say, he's going to be perfectly fine to just get out of all these slowing effects. That's the main point of emphasis here, is Icarus Dive slows, the Ignite slows, the Overload slows, but he's got 650 move speed no matter what, and he's actually going to put some of that into G's life pool as he controls the top rune. Well, once again, the EG supports take bottom. The one thing that, of course, they are giving up on is quite obvious. Up on the top lane, Void is free farming away, topping out net worth at 3,000. Getting 40 CS for himself, and now looking for the TP to the mid lane with the Chronosphere.
And he could maybe try to fight on this, but that was kind of a quick rotation that didn't need to happen. I think G was going to live regardless. And he maybe thought he could get a Chronosphere coming in. There's still some heroes nearby. Jottum's here, obviously, if they want a Chrono. I think he does have it. He is 6. They also have a Sentry Ward that's right in the vicinity of this Observer Ward. So this Observer Ward might be countered from Evil Geniuses. In fact, I'd almost bet on it if they can get the wave up to the high ground. So they free up the top lane for Yol to get some experience, but they might go for a gank here instead. Universe has Lasso. Just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's just that Phoenix doesn't really have a great spot to call home. Like, he's going to eventually have the Tranquil Boots, which will allow him to sustain, but at least for now, he's going around lane to lane, not really finding much anywhere. But the Chronosphere will come out here, and the Chronosphere will follow this up with some nice damage output. They will get the stuns they need to bring down RTZ, and this is a huge kill.
The Universe is going to come in. The Overload goes through. Zai's going to pop the cask. It's going to bounce between a couple of the creep waves back and forth, and not enough, though. There's going to be the last word coming as well. Time Walk going in. BZZ has to be careful. There is no mana for the Lasso, by the way. They know this. That's why they're being aggressive. BZZ is going to take a bit of harass coming out from the Curse of the Silent and a couple of right clicks, but for the most part, it's just a clean kill onto RTZ mid, who gets caught out of position and dies. So good pickup with the Chronosphere, first and foremost.
Yeah, it's going to slow down Arteezy. He really wants to just kind of rotate in, do jungle things, but he's not going to be able to do that with just the medallion here. He's going to get some good right-click out when he goes aggressive, but whether or not he could get a kill on the low-HP Phoenix is all about the shapeshift and all about this Icarus dive. Is it on point? He Icarus dives away, but the dive ensues. There's the TP, the right-clicks from the Wolves. They get the crits, they get the medallion, and they get a nice little kill.
That was just pretty easy for Arteezy. That was with shapeshift time increase. That was with Icarus dive. The increased move speed of a Lycan after that change really makes up for the shapeshift nerf that did come in the last patch. So more than enough for him to get the kill. And in fact, we saw this last game from Eternal Envy. He just went for straight up medallion. So not even opting for the Vlads at this point in the game. He might get it later. I'm not sure, but I like the medallion first because it allows you to be a bit more aggressive. Instead of RTZ playing like you used to see in players split pushing and getting Vlads and farming up. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to try to go into Sedoya potentially. There's going to be the last word coming up. PBD doesn't have his global yet. Their silence is going to go, but it's popped up. And there's going to be the usage of the Pandas. PPD getting brought low. He might fall here. The Icarus dive did go, and PPD is going to maybe take a spill. They do get the kill on Zai. I believe that was in the mid lane. In fact, Fear body blocks them away, and he's going to keep him alive. Cyclone is going to be coming up. Now there's a TP coming in from Universe. No Blink Dagger. He's very close. He claps off the last word, and they won't be able to chase him down. And Fear really just saving the life of PPD there.
Yep, and the only casualty is going to be Zai. He was just dropped down by the Ogre Storm combo, a little bit too far off his tower there, but it does happen when you're kind of trying to get that solo experience while the cores go off in the distance here. Arteezy will be working towards that Vlad. It's just kind of taking its time here, since he did get set back by that pretty heavy death initially. But Lycan is an amazing hero to kind of rebound with. He's going to be able to get a ton of gold and a ton of farm very, very quickly in the near future, and that'll be space created for Universe. Looking for the Blink Dagger. He'll be buying time for Slark and Lycan to get big.
Universe now with the Blink Dagger. I would not be surprised if they pick up a Smoke to see it and try to get something done with this. With the head top, they look for the Faceless Void, who's not necessarily unkillable, but he does have the Chrono. He's got the Morbid Mask as well. In fact, he almost has enough money for his Mask of Madness. Zai's got to come in. He does have the cask. Top rune spot, Arteezy picks up, I believe, a Haste rune. He has the Ring of Basilius now. Looks like he's building into the Vlad's next. And another TP, so Universe is going to come in. No smoke yet. He has it. He's going to pop it. In the jungle, there are 2 heroes from Virtus.Pro. They're looking top lane, and Zai's going to get caught out. BZZ, they pop the cask, and it's going to bounce between them. Wow, that was just... They looked at each other. Meanwhile, the last is going to go on to Jotum. They might catch him, and they get this kill, so a support for a support across the board. Arteezy getting involved, getting the kill. All the while, the Faceless Void does pick up that Mask of Madness.
So a lot of offensive potential there with the Mom available. It doesn't have any stacking issues with Orb of Venom, despite them being both UAM. One's kind of a buff placer, so you get the full stacking of Orb of Venom and lifesteal effects, and you can just kind of go to town on target, keep them locked down with the Bash, with the Slow, and obviously with the Chronosphere if necessary.
This has been a slow-paced game. This is not the game number 2 of Cloud9 versus Virtus.Pro Polar that we just saw. Fear's going to jump it onto Sadoy. No pounce yet. In fact, he's taking a lot of damage. He just pounces away. He did have Shadow Dance if he needed it. Vlad's is now done for Arteezy, 11 minutes in. Of course, he went for Medallion first. Something to keep in mind. Fear's Blink is done. So maybe they start going pretty soon here. Again, you'd like to maybe just push it as a Lycan and just try to take objectives as possible, but he's seemed to be battling here for the most part. He's been getting involved in kills.
Yeah, doesn't have the extra attack speed and durability with the treads, so you will have to be a little bit careful here, but it is worth noting that PPD has found a relatively early level 6. Yeah, it is 11.5 minutes, but this is PPD. Oftentimes he spends the early game roaming and winning lanes for his allies and not for himself. In this case, he's taken some me time. He's gotten a few opportunities to build up his experience, and now at level 6, he can really contribute to this game. He can shut down a Bruise Silence, he can shut down a Chronosphere, or maybe even kill off the Storm, preventing the ball lightning. So we'll have to see. They make a smoke movement here. They do, I believe, see him before nighttime strikes, but they aren't going to find the opportunity they're looking for until they move down bottom.
They might find Sadoy here. There's going to be the blink. There's the last. So he does split. They've got to blow him up. The Curse of the Silent. He can't get it off. He's done. They're going to look for Yol, but he just backs away. Maybe they do catch him out. Last word on cooldown. Global was ready to go, but mid lane, there's going to be the Global as they were chasing after Arteezy. They popped the Global. They kind of baited that a bit from Virtus.Pro. They didn't actually use the Chronosphere, or weren't in the process of using it anyway, so that was a bit of a bait. Still, though, it's used up nonetheless. Last word's going to go. The pounce might fly from Fear. He's going to grab it. Yol is donezo. McDunzo. 2 heroes take it down to the bottom lane for the price of Zai across the map elsewhere.
Yeah. Now, I think it's worth noting that Fear did go for an interesting skill build here on the Slark. Went for 4-1-1, the only skill build we haven't seen today, despite seeing so many Slarks. And it's because there's a couple things about it. You get the shorter cooldown on your Dispel factor. You get a second and a half of Dispel every 6 seconds, which is really nice against the Phoenix's Spirits, the Turk and Haze, the Ignite. But it also allows you to rotate in the jungle a little bit and farm up camps there. So no matter the case, he's been really precise with the pounces that he does use. So even though it's a long cooldown, he's been able to connect with a lot of them, and the blink will only enhance that further. So really good position for him to be in, and he's about to kind of build up his stats to be at a 4-4-1 build very shortly.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty good start for Fear. Darkpack's going to go to Sadoy, claps up. They exchange some harass. Fear does have Shadow Dance, so he's more than okay with taking some trades coming in. And for now, it feels like Virtus.Pro sitting at 5-5 right now. Their score at least. They're doing okay. They do have the Storm farming up. He's got his Treads. He's got his Ogre Club going for the early BKB. They TP top lane. Arteezy's going to work on farming this lane up quickly. He does have Treads, Medallion, Vlad's plus 1,200 gold in the bank now. There are 2 heroes waiting for them. They might chrono him if he's not careful.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the reasons the Silencer pick is so valuable. Not just kind of counteracting the Phoenix in the laning phase, but when it comes down to it, it's going to be essentially forcing at least 2 BKBs from the side of Virtus.Pro in a situation where they wouldn't want it. I actually have the jump on bottom, so Sadoy will have to split here. He doesn't even split. No split, no magic wand, just dies. Because I guess he thought G would be jumping in a little faster. But, of course, the Dark Pact, you can't even Electric Vortex. There's no helping you. You gotta split, or you feed a kill away to the Slark.
And they did just that. And they also got Jotum in the mid lane using the lasso, and a couple of heroes coming in. Arteezy getting involved. The kill going to Universe on the Batrider. So a couple of moments here where EG just kind of strike quickly and get a couple of kills. Arteezy continues to farm up the Ancients. Roaming through is G. He is invisible. I don't know if he can get any kills at this point. Maybe he could kill Zai. He doesn't do the most damage in the world.
They've got the global, they've got plenty of heroes relatively close. I just don't think that's going to be very fortunate for them. He does have some clear vision, so he knows he's not threatened. He can always TP out if he needs to, but end of the day, he's not finding anything positive. Just waiting on top lane here. Can they actually bring him down? They get the stun, they get the maledict, and they will actually knock him back into the Firefly. He's going down. The global just to be sure of it, and actually might set up a kill for Fear down bottom. He's going on Yol. They get the last word out, but Fear backs off for a second and won't be able to blink on him just yet.
They have split now for Brewmaster. He's not using a no last, so he might have to be forced to pop to see it's going to be. And they actually get the kill on him, and Slark gets the kill bottom, and mid lane is getting dove now. Arteezy's going to man up. He gets the kill on G. Jotum is going to get chased down. Jotum has no mana left in the tank. Here comes Fear, though. Blink, there's going to be a pounce in a moment, and they get the double kill for the Slark. What a turn of events. All 5 heroes down across the map. That was in all 3 lanes. EG set up a well-coordinated gang squad. Oh my god, I don't know what just happened there from Virtus.Pro, but it was not good.
That's incredible. Just running circles around them here, like knowing that the Ogre didn't have any mana. Arteezy mans up knowing that he, with the medallion and Vlad's armor, had enough to survive 2 auto attacks, so he's like, okay, hit me once, sets up Fear for the follow through.
And they're gonna split down bottom for PPD.
I mean, if you're not splitting to save your life from a Slark, why are you splitting to try to kill a support that they might not even get? He gets force-staffed away.
Live. The
oh my
gosh. Is going to come in, and he's going to stay alive. Sadoy has the meta. He misses the clap, but here comes G to secure the kill. Can they pick up Sadoy? No, they're going to lasso G.
Oh,
G is in trouble. Supernova's going to come in. Arteezy is fire blasted. They want G. They want it bad, but Arteezy will fall to the Supernova, it looks like. Coming in, there's the Icarus dive. They want Universe. Universe forces away. Here comes Fear, the big man, but the Corona's going to come in maybe. There it goes finally, and Fear is in some trouble. 3 for 3 exchange. Fear buys his items. It's going to be the ultimate orb quickly. The Wolves are on Yol. They're at the door, but they're not going to get this kill. And Zai is late to the party. He does have Death Ward, but it's not going to be enough. That was crazy.
Yeah, 39% win rate on Brewmasters after Blink, and he still does not have it. 15 minutes, 39% win rate, and it's getting lower and lower and lower. That is actually really delayed on Sadoy. I don't see him having that much really to bring to the table here. And obviously they started off with a rough lane, kind of dual off lane against the Silencer, the Witch Doctor, the Slark, but it's just been miserable for him. His only primal split wasn't even what got them the kill. It had to be a long range ball lightning from the Storm Spirit. Man, EG, they just have really been coordinating very well. Obviously having a lot of land time to work together, but here today they are showing up to play. They made an incredible series. Obviously that full 5-man wipe across the entire map, and the few kills that Virtus.Pro were able to get back was, in my opinion, not sufficient.
They're still sitting down 7,500 net worth, experience-wise 8,000, and Fear is pushing into the bottom tier 1 tower here with 1 ultimate orb already in tow. So Universe has an end his rune. This is going to be a free lasso if he wants it. He's waiting. Lasso's going to go the shapeshift. They're going to force him up to the high ground now, and that's the global silence. He actually doesn't get to the high ground. Not that it matters. They kill him regardless. And they're going to go right straight to the tier 1 tower. Arteezy says, this is mine. Give me this gold. TP's going to come in. He's going to back up, and now they're going to jump in. G pops in. Fire Blast Arteezy getting low, and he's going to take a lot of damage here. His shapeshift is over. Curse of the Silent onto a couple, but they do get Arteezy. That's a higher value target. They don't get the tower. Supernova goes in on the backside and misses completely. Now that's on cooldown. Jotum, no mana. Last word going in. Slark. I think he got a kill onto Sadoy in the meantime. Yeah, he absolutely did. And they lose Arteezy, but they take 2 kills in a tier 1 tower. They're not done yet, I don't think. Fear's going to come in. He thought about blinking, but he actually took damage from those fire spirits. He
and actually the Dark Pact, yeah. Like, he could put his own blink on cooldown that way, and I guess he just was looking to farm the wave out, but they have to get out now, because if they stay too long, yeah, they're going to get ignited, and that could be really bad. Void going in. There's the Mask of Madness. He does get stunned for a moment, but he still will find the kill. Ogre taking it for himself, and yeah, at this point, Virtus.Pro can look to just benefit from any gold they can acquire. They will get, for example, 600 off of just that 1 Witch Doctor kill. So, all in all, EG is still pretty happy to take the tier 1 off of that, but they want to keep the momentum rolling with the Necro 2 now up on Arteezy.
He's going to head top. He's going to try to get this tier 1 tower at least push into the top lane, but Virtus.Pro do take the tier 1 tower mid while this is all said and done. BZZ is not too far behind. I mean, he does have 7,000 net worth, yes, but Mask Madness Maelstrom, when you have Bloodlust as well, this is kind of difficult to deal with. Level 3 Bloodlust now up for the Ogre Magi, so yeah, BZZ is going to be hitting hard and fast, and this is going to be kind of difficult to deal with. The Supernova, as well, we saw in that first fight bottom, did throw a wrench into EG's plans, and so they, you talked about in the draft having to deal with all these abilities coming out from Virtus.Pro, all of these heroes, Primal Split, G jumping in and out, kind of just going all over the damn place. And, Supernova is going to be another issue that they have to deal with. Again, they're still leading. And don't get me wrong, they're in a pretty good position. But I'm not sure Virtus.Pro are really that far behind in this game. We'll see how things turn out.
I definitely think they have the potential, but this Brewmaster just needs to get some mobility up. Sadoi's farming down bottom here, but if he gets ganked once or twice more and actually gets killed off because of the global silence, they are not going to be able to dig their way out. I mean, they're just so outgunned. We're going to see Fear jump right on top of them. Where's that global? There it is! And they do use the lasso just to make sure it's going to be enough, and they will... Again, just set back that Brewmaster, who's rocking so much unreliable gold after having, of course, just been saving for that Blink Dagger so long.
Yol is going to be forced to pop his Supernova. Universe is like mission accomplished. He doesn't want to get stunned. He'll back up and he will make it away. But there's going to be the last word. Uh-oh, Yol is in some trouble. They're going to go through. Now they're going to jump in. BZZ, does he have Chrono? Absolutely. PPD is in trouble. Fear. RTZ picks up the Aegis while this is all happening. Fear's trying to get away from G. Shapeshift is going to go. They're going to look for somebody. G's not the target they really want, but they're going to try to find him anyway.
Oh, if they get the mana burn.
Yeah, he's out of mana. The mana burn. He's out of mana, and he's going to get chased down. RTZ, the big crit coming in from the big paw of Artur. He gets the kill. And, well, they at least get one out of that Shapeshift, and the Aegis is still up and ready to go. BZZ does have Chronosphere still, so they might have to be careful, but Sadoi's going to walk right into RTZ. Split's available. Mask Madness is going to go. They're going to try to find Zai instead. They're like, we don't want RTZ. And Zai actually, he does fall to the Faceless Void, so... RTZ gets chased down.
Man, they're going to go for RTZ here, but he gets force tapped out. He still has that Aegis. He has a lot of HP. They want him bad, but even with the Chronosphere, I don't know if they find him. And then, of course, they would be taking a lot of damage after the fact from the Slark maybe being able to TP. Right now, no scroll on Fear, but we'll just pop the fortification and fall back for the moment. Now, it is... worth noting the Storm Spirit's item progression. He started off with that Ogre Club. It implied to both of us that BKB would be coming out since the Silencer is a hero that naturally forces that. Oh, okay, Chronosphere gonna bring down this Slark. Maybe they can get a little bit more off of that push in the 55 seconds that he is down. But other than that, it's just a nice little bit of gold going to Faceless and taking away from the Slark. But as I was saying, that Storm Spirit started off Ogre Club, now going Soul Booster. I can understand the reason not to want to go straight into BKB. BKB is a really bad first item, but all the same, it's what's causing him to get mana burned by the Lycan Wolves. It's what's causing him to be just completely hindered by the Silencer. So the Bloodstone's great, but he needs that BKB like immediately after.
I feel like the only heroes doing anything in this game for Virtus.Pro are BZZ and Jotum. That's what it feels like to me. G is really underwhelming. Sadoi, like you mentioned, he isn't at his Blink Dagger at 23 minutes into the game. He still has 100 gold away, and he might just die again. Yeah, I think he actually could just die here. Is he going to be able to buy this before he dies? He might not be able to get enough gold. Yeah, he doesn't.
I got a feel for the Brewmaster here. This is 24 minutes. He still won't have the blink, and it might be 25 or 26 before he finds it. Up top, Zai will take some hits, but he's got the Max Voodoo Restoration, Magic Stick. They turn around with the Global Silence, and no BKB is a feeding Storm Spirit.
Oh no, it's just that bad. BKB comes out. Meanwhile, Fire Blast on RTZ does have the Aegis. The Necro 3 is working on this tower. They obliterate it, man. They take it down quick. So, 21-14, and a couple of kind of sketchy fights here and there for EG, but for the most part, they are thriving, and they're continuing to look to put on the pressure. Like you mentioned, Storm Spirit not really getting a damaging item. He goes for the Soul Booster instead of finishing up the BKB. You have a Brew with no Blink Dagger still.
Might be a freebie here for Zai.
Zai's going to get called out. BZZ is going to come in. Mask Madness. Voodoo Restoration's good, but you are out of mana and you are dead. But, important to note, Zai has almost got his
items.
He
got him, but he does not see inside the Shadow Dance. That was changed. 622.
Beautiful. He gets off the R button press, and Fear leaps away. He actually has Dark Pact. He's not going to get bashed. There is the haste rune, though. Good Yule Scepter from Universe. He saves his teammate's life. Fear will regen up a bit, and now BZZ is out of mana. There's going to be the BKB popped, and I think they're more than happy with that. Split was used mid lane to get the kill on RTZ. Shapeshift, I think, was already used as well. It's on cooldown for 8 seconds. He's actually in trouble. He might die here. Looks like he will. They have no mana for Fire Blast, but there's the Electric Vortex. PPD's going to come in, and he's trying to help, but in the end, it doesn't do much. The Blink now done for Sadoy, but he's out of mana. BZZ comes in, PPD 4-staff.
Oh my gosh, Universe with these 4-staffs.
Yeah, there's the last. So on to Yule. They might pick him off. They will absolutely do so.
Oh, these Necros are just going to do work.
Death Ward's going to go BZZ. It's no mana to time walk away. Universe wants the kill. Blink pounce. Fear gets the kill. Bloodlust Sadoy now going to get chased down. He has no way to get out. The stick charge. Blink dagger's up in 1 second. Is it going to go? Absolutely not. Universe says hell no. He pops up the Flame Break, and Jotum's going to get brought down as well. Fear with the double kill. What looked to be a good fight for Virtus.Pro ends horribly when they're all out of mana, and they get so many kills set up by Universe. This guy's on fire.
Yeah, that save for Fear on the top lane set them up for that double kill in the mid lane. So Universe saving people, setting up kills, lassoing. The 4-staff and Yule's usage from this guy has been impeccable, and it's been setting them up for so much. On top of that, of course, our TZ popping the Necro and the Wolves before going down. It's essentially the value of his hero is still intact as long as he has the summons on the field. Now G out of mana. Soul Ring TP is his only option, but of course wouldn't be able to TP away from the Yule Scepter. So he just goes down, feeds another kill away, and Silencer is happy to eat up this intelligence. PPD up to 16 stacks now.
EG they're just showing that they're a dominant team here against Virtus.Pro. Virtus.Pro are not a bad team, but they are making some big mistakes this game. I think a lot of it also has to do with the draft. Sadoy in that bottom lane got nothing. I mean, at this point, the Witch Doctor has... Sadoy is the least farmed hero in the game. He has 4,000 net worth. He is behind the support Silencer. PPD is a 6th position Silencer, and he is beating Sadoy. This is maybe the worst Brewmaster performance I've seen in a Dota game. And it's not necessarily Sadoy's fault. This was a rough game for him to play, and especially a rough lane as well. But still, they're going to try to find a kill onto PPD. He's just going to TP away. He is going to get boulder tossed, so Split is forced out. PPD could have global before he TP'd away, but decided against it.
I think it's more valuable to waste the Brewmaster ulti on a PPD kill than it is to actually use your global. Like, you keep your cooldown, he doesn't, and then you have it in 40 seconds to fight with. Like, it's actually a better strategic thing to die there.
Jeez, jumping on his eye now. He's like, oh, there's actually heroes here. I don't want to be here.
Boy.
And Jotum is going to be the one that pays for his transgressions. Jotum gets caught out. Here comes RTZ, the right click. More than enough damage between him and his summons. He's going to go to town. He's looking for G. He's got plenty of mana. He ball landings away, and that's fine. He's good to go.
I mean, it's a short cooldown, so it doesn't really cost him anything. But yeah, the channel time to bring that up to bury your fangs, I just don't think that it's going to be fast enough. Still, Storm out of mana again. These Necros are just slaughtering his mana pool, and it's already not that great. Like, he's got int treads, and he's still only sitting at like 63 intelligence. I'm wondering how many times he's died with Silencer nearby, because it is certainly hurting his potential mana pool.
I do want to take a look at PPD has 16 stacks of stolen intelligence, by the way. So his damage is not that. He has level 1 glaives. Get that up to level 4. He's hitting hard. So when PPD, you're theoretically, I hate saying this again, but your 6th position is hitting hard, then you know you've got a problem if you're Virtus.Pro. Let alone the fact that Universe is playing on point as he always does. So for Virtus.Pro, the real way to get back in this game is to hope to God BZZ can get some farm up in the next couple of minutes. And yeah,
really?
Well, that's... I would say that's surprising, but it actually isn't. It's not.
That's a stat right there. Jeez. Brewmaster having a bit of a rough time here. 1-8-4. Finally has the blink, but what does it mean if you can't even cast your spells? You get silenced, you get screwed over, and it's just gonna be sad times. At this point, like, the Lycanthrope has such great utility in his items, like the AC, the Vlads, the Necronomicon, that the Witch Doctor Aghanim Scepter is going to be, like, it's going to be its own carry. This Death Ward should have, like, you know how that you have the different roles on each player card or hero card? You just have a Death Ward card that just has position 1 number carry, because the amount of damage it's going to be able to output in the fights with the -5 armor on top, it's just going to be tearing through VP, and they don't have a good answer.
It's actually just frightening. If they have any way of locking down Virtus.Pro in a fight, whether
the global's sufficient, I think.
Yeah, the global should be enough, and that'll just kill everybody. The death ward, that is. And oh my god, Slark's going to have an MKB, because obviously there is Drunken Haze to deal with. He already has a Scotty, and God forbid he gets that MKB completed. Plus the Assault Cuirass. It's not looking good. RTZ is going to have to back away. He's going to shapeshift out. He doesn't want to get caught by BZZ. He's going to man burn BZZ, and he actually is manning up. He is not afraid. Mule has been completed. There's going to be the Sunray coming in. Glyph's going to go out as well. RTZ is going to hightail it out of there.
I mean, what is there to be afraid of as a 650 MS hero? You can get Electric Vortex, and if Ogre had a blink, then he could ignite Fire
Oh, the
here.
Death Ward, here it comes. It's coming through. They do cancel it. Yul takes a lot of damage. He might be forced, but the Global comes out. They get all of the heroes away. In the meantime, Zedoy falls.
Yeah, he was trying to TP out, and Universe just blinks on him and lassos, canceling out the TP, says you're not joining your friends up top, and with the bailout of the Witch Doctor, they just get a clean 1-0 with tower damage, and Roshan's just about to respawn.
How many plays has Universe made this game? I can't really keep track of them. This is his game to play. I mean, again, I talked about how Batrider was a good hero for him. I didn't think it was one of his best. Okay, thank you. Pax, I don't know if that stat's accurate or not. I think you're making that up, my friend, but we'll go with it. 17 sounds good. But we talked about how his Batrider I didn't think was... I don't consider it his best hero, but he's certainly making a case for it this game.
Sure
they do have the Ags, though, for Jotun. And if there's one hero besides BZZ that is doing well for Virtus.Pro, it is Jotun. And this could change the game around a bit. Unrefined Fire Blast. Ags. If he can get to level 3 ult, too, that'd be huge.
Yeah, considering between the Ring of Aquila, the Vlad, or actually I guess the Vlad's and Ring of Aquila won't stack, but yeah, the Vlad's and the AC, considering that is plus 10 armor, the only way you're going to be bringing your opponents down is through magical damage. So the Aghanim Scepter is definitely the right vein of thought here, but I still think that, you'll 1 BKB or a Pipe of Insight perhaps, and suddenly you're not able to kill anyone no matter what you do.
I do like the fact that EG didn't go for BKBs early on, like RTZ didn't get it like second item. He still has the chance to get it later on, so he's not wasting charges, whereas BZZ has wasted a few. They're going to go for Roshan, but there's the shapeshift. They know that they're in the pit, I think. Or maybe
yeah,
not.
they had a wolf there just a moment ago.
BKB pop for BZZ, and here comes the summons. They're going to try to clear these out. Split has to go preemptively, and RTZ's just sitting outside of the pit. The boulder toss is going to go. And they need to get to the pit now to be able to take this Roshan. Let's contest it. Fear is going to jump in. He's going to pounce out of BZZ. The Chronosphere is going to go. They're going to try to finish off Fear. Fear is taking a lot of damage here. He's going to Shadow Dance, and he is fine. He is good to go. Last one to G. BZZ is already dead. Double kill for Fear. The Sunray is going to go. It's doing a lot of damage, but now here comes Zai. He has got his Witch Doctor ultimate. He's going to pop it. Yo, his son, or rather his Supernova is on cooldown. RTZ is going to have to TP away Zedoy. The buyback coming in from G. They really want to take this fight. PPD getting chased down. Somebody says lag. Yol pauses the game. Yeah, it looks like there was a bit of a lag issue in that fight. It was kind of clowny to a certain extent.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous. I mean, like, if you think about what Virtus.Pro accomplished in that team fight with their ultimates, there's not much to talk about there. I mean, the Brewmaster split was zoning to try to buy them time for Roche. The Chronosphere did some damage to Fear before he got the Shadow Dance off. And the Supernova was way outside the pit. Can't draw on the map really when the pause is through, but like he was nowhere near the inside of the battle zone. Like he didn't really stun anybody. Their ultimates were essentially worthless and buying time. And in this case, EG have all the time in the world. They can sustain long enough in the fights, wait it out with the Voodoo Restoration. Slark can jump out, wait 5-6 seconds, and then jump right back in after Shadow Dance regen kicks in. And yeah, it's VP to just get torn apart. Now they have the Storm Spirit who just bought back. By the way, he bought back while wielding a Bloodstone. Generally speaking, that's not something you want to do. But yeah, loses the Bloodstone charges, buys back, and can do nothing with this buyback. Like in this position, even in the perfect scenario, he doesn't pick anybody off. He doesn't have damage. Like, he doesn't have an Orchid, he doesn't have a Hex, he doesn't have any way to control the target long enough to actually kill them. So he buys back for nothing with a Bloodstone, after they just get essentially 5-man wiped in the Roche pit, and the Roche is going to go to Arteezy as well. So,
you know what the crazy thing is that PPD didn't even use his global
oh
silence
yeah, he didn't have it.
fight.
Like 22 seconds on cooldown when the fight started off. So, a little like VP forced it at a good time, but they obviously didn't need it.
Some lag, some packet loss. We don't really need to tell you what's going on, I think. I mean, they are literally right next to the server. I shouldn't say that. They're very close to the server.
Yeah, he said like 5 MS ping. It was like it's supposed to be really good, but
Yeah, this is Stockholm, so some issues coming out. Hopefully they'll get resolved soon. It's unfortunate this happens in the middle of especially in the middle of a big team fight, but regardless, it's a part of Dota. But at this point now, man, I have to ask you, after this Roche fight and the fact that Arteezy is going to get this Aegis, I mean, is there anything Virtus.Pro can do? Because that was, I mean, they couldn't take down Roche fast enough. They couldn't kill Fear inside of a Chronosphere with a full duration Chrono. I mean, I guess they didn't have anybody outside really doing damage to him, but I just feel like Virtus.Pro have, at this point, really nothing left in the tank.
I really do think it's about that GG time. Like, out of honor, I guess he played out for 5 more minutes, but it feels like the loss is inevitable at this point. I mean, you look at the Brewmaster. He only has 400 mana right now. He's going to have like 30, 40 less than that after PPD kills him once more and gets his 22nd stack of Stolen Intelligence. This Brewmaster just can't do anything. He can blink and Primal Split, hopefully before he gets global. That's just about all he's got available to him. And as you mentioned, the Storm doesn't have controller damage. He's purely on the defensive. It's like you said, only BZZ as well as the Ogre Jadam making things happen across the map, and I just don't feel that the Mjolnir, BKB, Mask of Madness for the Void, or the Aghanim Scepter on the Ogre is enough to 2v5 EG.
You can maybe make an argument that Yule Supernovas, if they're on point, can do some work, but that last Supernova was not on point. That did nothing in that fight. So we still have some issues with packet loss. It looks like it might be a long pause. We'll cross our fingers that we're back in the game in just a minute. I do want to, while we've got a moment, again, this is Dota Pit Season 2. We had a really great series earlier between Cloud9 and Virtus.Pro Polar. I'd really recommend that series. It was a lot of fun to watch. So that series was pretty big in terms of playoff implications and who's going to move on and who's doing what in Group B. For Group A's playoff situation, and if you want to look at the full results, you can head over to dotapit.com, but I'll give you the quick rundown. So again, for a win, which means 2-0ing a team in a series, that is a win. You will get 3 points. For a tie in the series, again, these are 2-game series, you will get 1 point, and for a loss, you get nothing, obviously. So Virtus.Pro and Evil Geniuses are both sitting at 13 points. Both have 9 wins, although Evil Geniuses have 3 losses. Virtus.Pro only has the 1. If Virtus.Pro lose the series, Evil Geniuses will have the tiebreaker, I believe, and they will go up to first place. That means Virtus.Pro, I believe, are going to be down at second. Team Tinker are sitting at third with 11 points at 8-4. They still have a series to play, and Complexity are sitting at 8-6, also sitting at 11 points. And I believe that Team Tinker can get no worse than third. So the Group A playoff picture is all set up. It's Virtus.Pro, Evil Geniuses, Team Tinker, and Complexity. 4 anchors. They were close, but they lost a series. They lost a game, actually, to Moscow 5, which put them out of the race. And Alliance Power Rangers and Moscow 5 also done there. So that is the Group A playoff picture. Group B, it's a bit more undecided here. There's 5 teams vying for the playoff race, and right now it looks like Team Secret will pretty much secure their way unless they lose every single game from here on out. I don't see that happening. They're 8-2 currently, sitting in first with 11 points. Denial are 7-7 with 9. I believe Denial's games are now done. They're completed. They've played all of them. So that 7-7, 9 points is the best they can do. Cloud9 are sitting at 6-4 with 8 points. My Insanity are 6-6 with 8 points, with I think 1 more series to play, maybe 2? No, 1 more series to play, which is actually later on. And Virtus.Pro Polar are sitting at 6-4, currently with 8 points as well. So this next matchup after this series, which is MYI versus Virtus.Pro Polar, is huge in terms of playoff implications. So it's a lot of action going on.
Most definitely.
I don't know if anybody followed that. That was just like the most long-winded explanation. I wish my graph was updated, but if you want to see the complete standings, dotapit.com or Wikipedia. So.
Yeah, Wikipedia is really good about that stuff, but of course you guess. Got your awesome site too. And which iteration of Dota Pit is this again?
It is Season 2, and the prize pool is approximately 75,000. Plus, of course, if you buy the ticket $9.99 in the Dota store, by the way, proceeds will go towards the prize pool of the tournament, and you get a cool lich set. It's called the Sorcerer of the Black Pool set. I use it currently. It's pretty nice, I'd gotta say, but looks like we still have some lag issues.
Yeah, really cool that you're able to get the premium status there. So, of course, you do get to fund the teams and everything like that. The whole contribution and crowdfunding aspect is pretty badass for esports in general. But, yeah, getting it for, the second iteration of tournament really shows how much Valve appreciate what they've done. I mean, it's a really good, particularly for the North American scene, because, like, obviously, Dota Pit can do a lot in the European scene. There's tons of teams to choose from, but whatever teams they choose from NA is always going to get built up with the prize pool there. So them having a nice little kind of international aspect, at least in the Western sense, is really cool. And yeah, now we've had these crazy competitions here. Virtus.Pro Classic, maybe not doing so hot, but Virtus.Pro Polar, man, although their standings are weaker today, they have been on fire. And you mentioned they're playing again pretty soon?
Yeah, next series is going to be MYI versus Virtus.Pro Polar. That's probably the most important series of the day when it comes to playoff implications. And now we're currently talking about loading situations here, and this is where it gets dicey. I believe it's how long does it save, or how often is it
pretty much every minute. I mean, we're at 33:01, right? So
we could do it from here. PPD was implying that they could take Roche and Aegis and go 34, which I think might be okay, because if you load at 33, it might be a bit finicky. So, I'm not sure which is better at this point.
I think it would have the load available, but you'd have to leave the game to know that for sure, so...
Yeah. I don't know. This is a tough situation to be in. I think... I don't know whether to load at 33 or to load at 34, honestly. I guess the fairest thing would be to load at 33.
Yeah,
but...
assuming it doesn't miss too much of the weird stuff. I guess what you can do is just play on this minute and then go back, and if 33 is what you want it to be, then that's fine, and if not, then you have the 34 as backup.
All right, well, we're going to see how this does pan out. I think they do have some packet loss issues still. So we'll resume the game, probably pause it at 34, or... I think that's been the choice that's made, is that we're going to go to 34, and hopefully they can take Roche by that period of time.
I mean, I can't imagine there's any difficulty there. The Panda is guaranteed dead. The Storm Spirit guaranteed cannot do anything. The only thing that could possibly happen here is an Aegis snatch from the Storm Spirit, which, I mean, with the Observer Ward on the high ground, seems unlikely. I think that
they have Global too.
The Batrider can just go ahead and blink Yule's him in 15 seconds, and that will stop an Aegis snatch, and maybe pick up the Storm. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think maybe it's started to work out now. It looks like actually the packet loss is gone. We may still end up loading. We'll wait and see. When G is called, we're going to jump back in. Sadoy is going to get caxed up, and of course PPD with the right clicks using the claves. Universe gets the kill with Flame Break and his right click.
They see him right now.
Yeah, he's on the high ground. They have complete vision of G. And actually, Fear is just going to go to work. There's the global coming in, and G is just going to get obliterated. He has to suicide. He has 3 Bloodstone charges, and he is dead for 45 seconds. He did buy back, and it's going to be an Aegis going to more than likely Fear. Arteezy's not going to grab this one. And 33-30, Fear will grab the Aegis. So now, loading should be an issue. And in fact, it's an entire team wipe on Virtus.Pro, and Fear picks up a Basher as well. This guy is getting farmed. And we've talked about it at this point. It is getting close to, I suppose... the last remnants of the game for Virtus.Pro. They have to make something happen here, otherwise this is going to be game over quick.
Yeah, between the Basher and the MKB, if you don't have a Black King bar active, you're just going to get mini-stunned and regular stunned so damn frequently. It's like he has an Abyssal. He's just going to be lock you down so frequently. It's not even going to be really RNG-based. I mean, you have a 35 chance to mini-bash. You have, of course, the 25% chance to... actually bash, and the BKB is up on Void, so he'll nullify the MKB part of it, but he still, of course, can be Cranium Bashered. So, yeah, it is pretty consequential that he's going to be able to just have this hard anti-carry type mindset, and it looks like we are going to be able to play on.
Yeah, it looks like everything is set and we're good to go. Thankfully. Yeah, the pause did take a while. This has been one of the longest games between the delays getting into the game and the pause now. A couple of BKBs picked up. In fact, we see a BKB picked up for the Phoenix now, just so he can get his supernova off and not get really global silenced or even brought down. And however, the Basher is still pretty important for Fear. But I mean, at this point, he's got enough right click that this doesn't really matter as much. They're gonna smoke up. They're just gonna go straight down to the top lane. BKB for Universe. G is trying to find something. There's the ult coming out from the Like, and now Jotum gets caught out. He'll try to TP. He gets bashed up immediately. Goodbye. You are done. G taking so much damage from Arteezy. Sadoy can't even split the double kill for Fear. And Lasso, no, he lasted a creep Universe.
The one play this entire game out of all of that. And you know there's going to be some people in Twitch chat that only remember the creep. 11/25/2014. Like, he's played so damn well this game. You can easily laugh that one off.
Yeah, Universe is probably like, well, I guess it doesn't matter. But, yeah, I thought that might have been the GG moment for Virtus.Pro, but they're going to continue to play on. They're going to wait until they lose at least a couple of set of Raxes here. And BTZ is going to try his damnedest to defend with Chronosphere, but it's going to be difficult. This is a rough game to be in if you're Virtus.Pro, and they'll just probably push down the lanes, and they'll force out bottom, they'll force out the mid lane, and they'll go from there. They're actually waiting a bit of time. They don't want to go just yet.
Yeah, and this is one thing I wanted to kind of talk about, like, I think we're at the 10-minute mark, just about the draft of Evil Geniuses, but essentially the Silencer's presence here forces BKBs against a lineup that should never, like, threaten BKBs. The Slark, the Batrider, the Witch Doctor, and the Lycan are not hardly at all countered by BKBs, but the Silencer's presence alone has forced 2 already, and a 3rd in the making. You can also attribute it to the Necronomicon. That does some work, but OG going on Zai.
Yeah, G did go. Zai actually popped up the Witch Doctor ult, and BCZ was taking damage. He did time walk away. Oh, G gets bashed up. Global's gonna go. He's done. He's dead for 55. He is down to 1 Bloodstone charge. Lasso's gonna come in this time. He does connect Yul. There is gonna be a Chronosphere. BZZ bashed up, and Fear gets it before he can get inside the bubble. Yul still has that BKB going. Another bash onto Jotum. Jotum is dead as hell. Triple kill. They're gonna right-click down this Supernova. It does get off, luckily enough. They will grab Zai. He's dead for 70 seconds. He's done a buyback. Split is off. It's gonna be going down, and there's 4 heroes. And the only one still alive, Sadoy. Universe no Lasso. He's got Flame Break, though. They're gonna chase. Universe blinks forward, but the GG finally called. Virtus.Pro, they throw in the towel. Game number 1 in the books. Evil Geniuses with one of the best games I've seen them play. And they absolutely obliterate. They run over Virtus.Pro in a really well-played game.
Man, really nice game from Evil Geniuses there. I love the draft. I love the Silencer's contribution there. I mean, it's kind of, when you don't have a tie to force the BKBs while still going for a physical damage lineup, the Silencer is a great fill-in. And